and welcome back. French onion meatballs. That's what we're making today. Beef broth, garlic, breadcrumbs, black pepper, garlic salt, Mrs. Dash Italian seasoning, some red onions, but any onions you have will do. A couple of tablespoons of flour. I'm going to do this Gouda cheese here, but you can use whichever one you want. Butter, an egg, ground beef, and we're going to use this onion recipe soup and dip mix. Okay, so here's your shot of everything we're going to use to make these delicious and amazing meatballs. Let's get cooking. All right, I've already put the ground beef in there. I'm only using a pound, and I put the egg in there. I'm going to go in with the garlic, and I'm going to put in a good 2 tablespoons. If you don't like garlic, don't put it in. I love garlic. Okay, so I got the garlic in there. We're going to go in with a couple of tablespoons of Mrs. Dash. A couple of tablespoons of that Italian seasoning. I'm going to put in a couple of tablespoons of black pepper. I'm going to also put in a couple of tablespoons of that garlic salt. Should have opened this package, but I'm going to go ahead and go in with that whole package of that onion soup mix. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with some parsley. It's going to give it great color on the inside. And I'm going to also go in with, I would say, about 1/3 of a cup of those onions. And then the final thing we're going to put in is those breadcrumbs. And I'm going to go in with about 1/2 cup. And I'm just roughly measuring these things. Feel free to actually measure if you like. Okay? So then we're going to combine these together. Get my gloves. And we're going to just simply make meatballs. And we're going to make a delicious gravy sauce for this. And so we're just going to kind of break that all up. Get all that yummy in there. And like I said, this is going to be so delicious. Try it once. You will definitely fall in love. Like I said, we always are looking for different ways to do things that we use all the time. We always have ground beef and chicken in our refrigerators. And we always want to do something different. You don't want to get stuck in doing the same thing all the time. I know I don't. I'm always playing around with food. I think that's the best way to learn different ways to cook it, is to play around with it. And some things you may not like, and other things you will simply just fall in love. Okay? So we got that all mixed in. And we're just going to, you can use an ice cream scoop if you like. I'm just going to grab it like that, and make my balls. Real simple, real easy. Just roll it up. Make your balls as small or as big as you like. Okay? It's completely up to you how big or how small you want them to be. I just kind of mush it together a little bit, and then I just roll it on up. And I'm just going to keep going until I make them all up. Okay, and I'll come back when it's time to go to the next step. All right, we've got our meatballs here in this beautiful skillet. We're going to go ahead and cook these on a medium heat, and we're going to cook them for about 15 minutes, turning them continuously so we can brown as much as we can on all sides. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'll come back in about 5 minutes to let you see what they're looking like. Okay, and I'm not putting any oil in this pan because there's going to be plenty that comes off the ground beef from the fat that's in it. Okay, so I'm going to let this cook, and I'll come back in 5 minutes to let you see what mine looks like. Okay, I'll be back. All right, it's been 15 minutes. I'm going to take those meatballs out, and I'll be right back. All right, I've got those out of there, and all that yummy in the bottom of that pan is just nothing but flavor. We're going to go in with about, I'd say 3 tablespoons. That's about 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to let that melt, and I'll be right back. All right, and now we're going to go in with the rest of those onions. So I put about a 1/2 cup in the meatballs themselves, and now I'm putting that other half in here, and we're going to saute these for about 3 minutes, okay? In that delicious butter, all while getting some of that yummy that's at the bottom of that pan, okay? So we're going to let this go for about 3 minutes, and I'll be back. All right, this is what you're looking for. You want your onions to be translucent. They cook pretty good here. And so we're going to go ahead and go in with that flour. And we're going to go ahead and cook it for a good minute, because we do want the floury taste cooked out of this, okay? So I'm going to let this cook for just a minute. Incorporate all that butter in there. And let it go just for a minute. This is going to be our thickening agent for our gravy. And it is going to be yummo, let me tell you. All right. This is so delicious. I'm telling you, it is definitely one of those ones you want to put in rotation. It does seem like it takes a little bit, but you know, it is well worth it. So we go in with 2 cups of that broth. I'm just going to put in a little bit at a time, so I can break it up, break up that flour and onion, so I won't have clumps. But we need 2 cups, okay? And then we're going to incorporate those meatballs back into this pan. And then we're going to let it cook for a little bit. Let all that gravy get incorporated all over those meatballs and turn into a whole lot of yummy. And then we'll add the cheese at the very end. I could absolutely use a whisk. A whisk would be better. But you use what you have, right? Okay, so I'm just kind of smushing it down a little bit. Breaking it up. Oh, yeah. Then I'm going to go in with some more. I'm going to go ahead and finish it up. Put in those 2 cups. And you can absolutely use more, depending on how much gravy you want. Okay? So I'm just going to let that incorporate for just a minute before I put those meatballs back in there. And let it cook for a little bit. All right. There we go. Now I'm going to put those meatballs back in there. I'm putting them over off to the side so it doesn't splash on me, and then I'll move them back and spread them out throughout the pan. Make sure you take everything you got on that plate and get it right back in there. All that is nothing but flavor. Now we're going to put those meatballs, move them around a little bit. All right. And we're going to let this cook for 15 minutes. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and put a lid on. There we go. All right. So 15 minutes. And in about 5 minutes, I'll come back in here and I'll turn it around a little bit. But 15 minutes total time. I'll be back. All right. We have one final step and these meatballs will be done. And that is to add the cheese. The cheese is also going to help thicken up our gravy that we've made. You can add this step or not. Completely up to you. But it is so delicious. Things made easy with Gigi, all day, every day. You can put this over rice, you can put these over noodles, or you can just simply eat them like my kids do, just like that. Okay? And then you take that parsley and put it all about again. And look at that. Well, let me plate her up. I'll be right back. And there they are. Look at that. Things made easy with Gigi, all day, every day. Please like, subscribe, and feel free to share. Everybody be blessed and stay safe. You'll see Gigi on the next one. Take care, you guys.